I've lost 180 pounds with a combination of carnivore, keto, and counting calories. I reached my goal in November of 2022. Right now I'm doing an experiment with being carnivore-ish and counting calories. If you want to see the results, stick around and subscribe, and we can see how it goes. Don't forget to click the like button. Getting some quality time with my goofy boy. The other two are wrestling in the other room. So we're getting some good quality time, ain't we, buddy? Yeah. He ain't about that wrestling life. Neither is this one. So I'm petting him with one hand. And him, oh, all right then. Oh, he had to sit up, his yawn was so hard. Hi, Bubba. How you doing? How you doing, big boy? How you doing, big boy? And what about you, my sweet angel? Well, he's not really an angel, but he's my sweet one. That's why I never need a puppy again, because I treat them like puppies even when they're like 7, 10 years old, and then they get all screwed up in the head. Yeah, so lesson learned. I will not buy another puppy, even though they're so stinking cute. I got britches on. Don't be freaking out on me. What you doing there, Clyde? Up. Busted. They're moving the show into here. Get him, Callie. Get her, Sam. Get him. They're moving the show into here. Get her, Sam. Get her. Oh, maybe they're taking an intermission break. Or not. Get him, Callie. Get him, girl. Get him, Callie. I don't know. They just heard me talking and they wanted to come see what was going on. Dude, my bed is clean enough. You ain't got to lick it. All right, well, that's some Sunday morning shenanigans. Oh, Sam. Get her, Sam. Sam. She's got it. Oh, no, she's going to chew on it. So, all right. Anyway, so that's some Sunday morning shenanigans. Love you guys. Bye. Hey there. So Sundays, I know this is a different place, ain't it? So for those of you who are new, on Sundays I go to church, and then after I get done with church, I usually go to my mom's house, and I kind of tell you all what Pastor talked about. But Mother is not at home today, so I didn't get to see her. And let me tell you, I was planning on watching church online, not going to the building. Thursday, God reprimanded me in a lovingly way through an invitation to a request to work at kids' church this morning at 8:30. Now, I was full ready to just stay at home Sunday morning because, like I said, Mom wasn't going to be there. So I was going to just stay at home, watch from online, and that was going to be that. God said no. He gave me a hand slap from way up there through the kids' church leader. But, she, of course, didn't know it, with an invitation. So, yeah. So it's just funny how God can do things sometimes. And, who knows whether that was through him or because of him, or, you just never know what's really he's doing and what is just from my own life. Anyway, so today we talked about, we're in Acts 27. It was Pastor Chris, and for the record, if you want to hear what he said and the way he said it, he does an amazing job. The link to my church is down in the description of all my videos. It's called, I think it's Your CPC on YouTube. But just go to the link in my description, and because it's called Connection Point Church. So anyway, so the series right now is called Riders of the Storm. So he's just been talking about storms and how we can, work through storms. And let's see where it starts at. So this week, the theme of the week is steer your crew. So he talks about storms come and go all the time. We're either in a storm, we just came out of a storm, or we're about to enter a storm. He said storms have a beginning and an end, and there's all kinds. There's things that involve family, financial, marriage, kids, health, and there's sudden. Some storms are sudden, some are slow. But he said God doesn't always send them, and sometimes even the devil doesn't send them. He said sometimes it's due to our own actions. I'm like, well, I can admit to that with both my marriages. I'm the one that made those decisions, and those divorces came because I didn't seek out God before I didn't check with God and pray about it before. I just wanted a man and to move out. So that's that. Anyway, so he said that so some of the storms are due to our own doing. And he said some storms don't just affect us, but they affect those around us, our family, friends, coworkers. So sometimes we're involved in storms that are not just about me, myself, and I. So then it's Acts 27, verse 9 through 11. And it's whenever Paul had been arrested and he was being taken to Caesar. It was after, God had told him several years earlier that he had to go to Rome to preach to Caesar. And so it said, starts off, by now much time had passed and the voyage was already dangerous. So Paul had told them, guys, this is the wrong time. We don't need to go, because it was during the fall. And he said September, October, November on the Mediterranean is terrible, terrible time. And he said it's like he said there was northeaster winds and they make like a tornado over the sea, kind of like a hurricane. So it said the voyage was already dangerous since the Day of Atonement was already over. So he was explaining when the Day of Atonement was and the fact that this was in the fall. He said, Paul gave his advice and told them, men, I can see that this voyage is headed towards disaster and heavy loss. Not only the cargo and the ship, but also of our lives. But the centurion paid attention to the captain and owner of the ship rather than what Paul said. So this is an example of listening to others can get us into trouble, because God had already told Paul, no, this is going to be bad. So let's see, that's A. And then as explaining that's like a nor'easter is like a tornado, hurricane. So he said, in order to steer our crew, our friends, family, those around us, in order to help steer them through storms in a way that is good for us and them, we need to prioritize God's word over the opinions of the world. So, for example, there would not have been an issue if they would have listened to Paul. And God tries to keep us out of a storm that we can't always see that's coming up ahead of us. So that was number 1. So when we are in a mess, a storm will keep us longer than we want to stay. We wear ourselves out trying to survive in the middle of a storm that we could have avoided had we just listened to the Holy Spirit. Again, I could have avoided 2 failed marriages and 2 divorces had I just gone to God instead of the opinions of the world. Okay, B. So Psalms 119 verse 105. Your word is a lamp for my feet and a light unto my path. So he said we need to spend time in the Word, which is the Bible. We need to spend time in God's presence, which is through worship and silence. And we need to spend time in God's ear, which is prayer. Number 2, so we need to we can steer our crew with a strong character. So, for example, this is after the ship had just been beaten and banged, and they had thrown off a bunch of stuff, and they were trying to, they'd suffered. None of the people died, but they, were hungry and throwing stuff overboard. And he said there was 276 people on the ship, and Paul stood up and he led the crew because the captain was too scared to lead, because by this stage they thought they were all going to die. So Paul says, now I urge you to take courage, because there will be no loss of your lives, but only of the ship. For last night an angel of God, of the God I belong to and serve, stood by me and said, "Don't be afraid, Paul. It is necessary for you to appear before Caesar. And indeed, God has graciously given you all those who are sailing with you. So take courage, men, because I believe God that it will be just the way it was told to me. But we have to run aground on some island." And let's see, I've got to get all my letters here. So all the way down to D. Okay. So what does happen in a storm when we're experiencing a storm? There's often a fatalistic loss of all hope. So, like I said, a lot of the men had lost hope and they were cowering and afraid. And he was laughing. He was like, they didn't eat for 14 days. He's like, if they were Baptists, they would all lay down and die because, Baptists are known for like always having potlucks and stuff. But anyway, so in Acts 27:20, for many days neither sun nor stars appeared, and the severe storm kept raging. Finally, all hope was fading that we would be saved. And then another thing that happens in a storm is escapism, compelled by selfishness. So it says, some sailors tried to escape from the ship. They had let down the skiff into the sea, pretending they were going to put out anchors from the bow. Well, in the Bible, it talks about how Paul said, they've let down a ship and they're not throwing things overboard. And God said he will only save us if everyone remains on the ship. So the guys had not climbed down into the skiff yet. So they cut the ropes and forcing the guys who were trying to escape, forced them to stay on the ship. So they were trying to escape because of selfishness. They wanted to live. But Paul stopped them. So how do we steer our crew? We steer our crew to trust God and his plan. So in Acts 27:33-34, when it was about daylight, Paul urged them all to take food, saying, "Today is the 14th day that you have been waiting and going without food." And the pastor was talking about how a lot of them were probably seasick, because 14 days of this going on. And so a lot of them were probably not eating because they were sick and they had thrown food overboard as well. He said, "So I urge you to take some food, for this is for your survival, since none of you will lose a hair on your head." So then he said, in a storm we have to get up. God's not done yet. And he gave an example of whether this was God's plan, the devil's plan, or regarding free will. And he said, God told Paul not to go. So this really was not God's plan, but because of God's free will, the Roman guard and the captain, their free will said, we're going to go. But because God had an end game, he wanted Paul to preach to Caesar, or to talk to Caesar. So God took that storm and he changed it, and he can make good out of the storm. So because of his end plan. So he said, there are times when it's God's plan, when it's the devil's plan, and when it's just our own free will and stupidity. So like I said, my marriages and divorce was my own free will and stupidity. Spending a bunch of money on dumb games in the past and racking up credit card debt, my own stupidity. The things that I told you all about in my testimony, the things that I feel and hear in my voice, part of it's my own stupidity. The other part is the devil putting some of those thoughts that cause my body to react in certain ways. So some of it is God's will, some of it's the devil's will, and some of it's our will. The big takeaway is we have to steer confidently by taking our eyes off of the storm and placing them on Jesus. So whenever there's turmoil and stress and bad things going on, we need to just pause in that storm and be like, Jesus, 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 Jesus. We just have to put our focus on Jesus, and he will help us get through. So God is the author and finisher. So keep our eyes on our Savior. So that was the topic today. So now I'm going to get something to eat because I'm starving Marvin. So hold up, y'all. Oh, church swag, church swag. So I walked by and they had some things that were $5. And I was like, yes, please. So this was on the $5 table. So this is a shirt. It's a long sleeve shirt. Imago Dei. I don't know how to say it. I don't know whatever language that is. And then it's in his image. I know that's what it means is in his image, but I just don't know how to pronounce it. So that matches one of the shirts that I have. You notice I always get long sleeve stuff. My church is cold. My BFF's sister was sitting beside me today, and God love her. She looked so cute in her little dress, but she about froze her katukas off, so I had to share my blanket with her. So what I found that in unisex shirts, I like mediums. But like this one is a medium. But if it is like a jacket, I want a large because I want to be able to wear it over like a shirt. You know, I want to be able to wear it over a shirt. So this, I honestly didn't. Oh, so the Imago Dei. Does it say it on the back? Hang on, I'll do it this way. So that's the back of this one. I could take this one to work or put it in my car or something, but $5 foot long. Now also, so when you work in kids' church, you get a t-shirt. I never knew, and I never asked or thought about it. So this I did not buy. So I asked them about the blue t-shirts, and so I got one. So what I do is if it's short sleeved, I get large because I need to wear a long sleeved underneath short sleeves because I freeze to death in church. So I got a large so that way I can wear like I said a long sleeved t-shirt or whatever, something underneath there. Because or I could wear this. I could have worn this over it, but the thing is, you know, you want to see the kids' point when you're in there with the kids, so that way the kids know that you're a leader. Of course, they're going to look at my age and know that, but still, never know. Anyway, so those two things were $5. The Kids Point Church was nothing. And then I bought two of these little notebooks. These were $5. So it's just like a little notebook. And I thought, you know what, that'd be good. I could use those like at work or on work trips or something. So, all right, hang on. I need to set this over here so I don't want to lose my little dealing. So, food-wise, all right, this morning I took something, a protein shake. On Sunday mornings, it's the only day of the week that I have a protein coffee because you know it's longer time before I come home and eat. So, like right now it's 12:15. Usually when I'm with Mom, we're not sitting down to eat until like 12:45, 1 o'clock, 12:30, somewhere in there. And so, anyway, so I drink a protein coffee at church. And the one I used today, I threw the thing away, but one of my coworkers, she likes protein shakes, and she brought one. They have like this little snack thing. They call it the Snack Shack. Most of it's just junk food, but she had a couple protein shakes, and that one was a protein coffee. So I didn't have to use my coffee. I just used the protein coffee. So I drank. Like I said, I sip around on that during church, and then I go on and eat lunch when I'm home. So I'm gonna kind of clean some things up, and then we'll eat. I'll be right back. Okay, so supper to lunch. It's lunch day. Brunch. So I made some steaks yesterday, and I just cut them in long strips and put them in here. Because I was like, I'm not going to cut it up. I thought Sunday Terri can just deal with herself. So, it's New York strip. So it's a New York strip and 1.5 slices of bacon. I had some bacon in there that hadn't been, it was like the last, 3 halves of bacon. I'm like, you know what, I better eat this up before it goes bad. So that's my brunch, and I'll see you at Lupper. Bye! I apologize if I mess up your name. And I also apologize because it was sent yesterday and I'm behind on my comment section. I was meal prepping yesterday and I didn't see it, but I'm going to say this two different ways and you tell me which way it is. Is it Nuggy DK or Noogie DK? Either way, I know it's NUGGI-DK. Thank you so much for the super thanks. I don't know how it all converts, so I'm going to put your sticker, Nuggy DK, super thanks. We're going up on my wall. Thank you. I'll put you right here. All right. So thank you so much for the super thanks. I really appreciate it so much. You don't have to do that, and I appreciate that you did. Thank you. Nuggy or Noogie? If it's Noogie, like type NOO or UU. And if it's Nuggy, type NUGG. I don't know. You just spell it out so that way I know how to say it right. I hate not knowing how to pronounce names. My last name is Leist, and it's L-E-I, and some people say Leist. So I like to know how to say names the proper way. So anyway, but thank you so much. You're on my fourth wall right there. Thank you. Hey, really quick. So I have not been able to, I've been going to bed early this past week. Just kind of felt just a little under the weather. So I've been going to bed about 8, sometimes 7:30. Anyway, but I say this from time to time, but I just want to make sure I say it whenever I remember. I know that usually when I can, I try to watch you guys' channels because there's several of you who have a channel and who I follow. But if you're somebody who has a channel and, you post content regularly, please feel free to put your channel down in my comment section. Just put the little @ and then your channel, so that way we all know that we can follow you, because I feel like we're a big family and that we should support each other. I know we all have different kinds of content and different things we like, and some people like to share their outdoor stuff. Some people like to show what they're eating. Some people like to show their little guinea pigs. And some people have shorts about about Jesus. So if you have a channel and you're watching my video right now, put down in the comment section what your channel is, so that way other people in our little YouTube family can follow you. Okay, I know I'm doing lots of talking today. Bye. Okay, well, it's supper time. If you saw my calzone video, you saw that I made 2 of them, and tonight I've got the other calzone with some of that homemade, my homemade marinara sauce. My marinara was just some no salt added tomatoes that I pureed up, and then I added some seasoning too. But go back and watch that video. So just to give you an idea how just how lazy I am, I got out my kitchen shears and I cut a whole calzone into bite-sized pieces. And then I dumped the tomato over it because, I don't want to have to cut it up. So, let's see. I could microwave it a little longer, but I don't mind food that's not spiced, steaming hot, you know what I mean? So calzone with my pasta, with my homemade tomato marinara or whatever. My creamy tonight, it's the second. I already had it once. It is half keto chow blueberry with half equip vanilla with a 4 teaspoon of glucomannan and xanthan gum. Great flavor, great texture. I really do like mixing the keto chow with the equip. In the long run, it can save a little bit of money. So that is going to be my lupper. And it's only 3:30. Y'all, I've been going to bed early. I'm still not 100% from our trip to Branson. My nose is still running and the weather keeps changing and then raining and then sunny and anyway, so yeah. So I've been going to bed between 7:30 and 8 o'clock at night some nights. So anyway, it is what it is. It's 3:30 and I'm going to go eat this lupper. I may be in bed by 6 o'clock. Who knows? All right, bye.